Scott, hi, how are you? Let's make sure once again that everyone is able to hear me loud and clear.
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, fantastic. I'm assuming then that applies to everybody else. Brad, my good buddy.
How are you,
How are
Dan?
you, compatriot?
Good
Brad,
Wednesday afternoon. How are you, my friend?
good Wednesday afternoon to you. I have to tell you, buddy, you kind of made my day because you're really going to make it easy for me to have one of the best webinars we've ever had.
Well, I love that. I mean, we're doing some great stuff here to the tool, so it's
Yeah, we really are. Let's run into the show. We've got so much good stuff to talk to you about, and the best part is we're going to be really focused on the kiss. No, Brad, I'm not going to be kissing you. Keep it simple, stupid. The KISS principle. Okay, so before we begin, let's make sure everyone is aware that Trade Ideas is not a registered investment advisor. No information that you're going to hear from anybody on this webinar or on the recording is a solicitation for you to purchase any securities. If you need that kind of advice, please consult a registered investment advisor. Okay, wow. I feel like I just threw 3 lawyers off my shoulders, Brad.
temporarily anyway.
You know, this picture never gets old for me.
It doesn't. You do, but the picture doesn't.
Yeah, I get older, this picture stays the same age. Handsome young guy, smiling. You know, Brad, I still feel that way. That guy holding the dog, I still feel that way.
It wasn't that long ago.
It was not that long ago. It might have been yesterday. But really, what's kind of cool is, Brad, the excitement that you see there in this persona of me. I mean, obviously, for those of you that don't know who I am, I'm the CEO of Trade Ideas, and I've been a professional investor my whole life. And I've tagged along some buddies like Brad and Scott, who are also quite immersed in the art of active investing. So we have a wealth of knowledge that we've put forth into this technology that we're bringing to the table, and we are changing the world of investing. Oh yeah. Wait till you see the kind of crazy stuff you're going to see. So, Brad, you know, we were talking about being excited. I want to tell you, I was actually going to almost play it, but like the effect kind of got lost on me. Here's what I was going to do. I was going to actually play the Rush song, Tom Sawyer, as everyone's reading this.
One of my favorites.
What, do you know, like when I hear that song come on, like you kind of get like the chills a little bit, like bam, you know, like you get amped. And that's how I feel about how cool the technology is that we're bringing to life. And it applies to what you're reading here. Okay, one of the most exciting things about being an active investor is it's one of the few things in life where money is on the line, of course, but you really control your destiny to the extent that you feel everything you do. Lots of times when we grow up, you know, we have the fantasies as children of what we're going to become, etc. But when you get older, you often realize that the thing that you do, well, you don't really feel the impact as much as maybe you would like. Well, one of the amazing things about active investing is that it's incredibly impactful. You know, everything that's happening, the P&L speaks to you, and of course, not only that, but you get a fair amount of empathy because you start to sense how others feel as well. So we're breaking ground in how stocks are selected for investing. We are the pioneers of artificial intelligence before anybody in active investing, and this is not about artificial intelligence for cutting costs of your algorithm. You know, this is about artificial intelligence as it relates to selecting what it is we're going to buy and sell and why. So lots of exciting things that we're going to be showing you. One of the basic simple things that's a tenet of this presentation and hopefully a reason for why you're here is that success is scientifically kind of verifiable in 2 ways. There is the luck success, which by the way is awesome, right, Brad? I mean, you know, no better.
You gotta love it when that happens, right?
Right. But luck is hard to count on. Okay, so the other form of success is repetition and discipline. And whatever you apply repetition and discipline to, whether it's dieting, your taxes, any kind of behavior, habit. You can create new habits, build on them, and succeed. This has been proven by everybody. Self-control in this instance is the critical thing. You know, it's like, again, going back to relating this to people dieting. Everybody really knows why they are not losing weight. That's not a mystery. It's the little things that you're doing when you're cheating. You know, the little piece of cake, the slice of pizza, the chips and salsa that I had yesterday. It's so delicious, Brad. But those are the things that you know you're doing, and yet, you know, you do them, and that's where the results come in. In trading, those little things are actually taking big losses. So, Brad, I'm going to tell you something interesting. And there's really only 4 outcomes, as it turns out, when it comes to active investing. I mean, people make it so complicated, but there are only 4. Okay? There's big gains, and then there are little gains. And then there's little losses, and then there are big losses. And as it turns out, to succeed in investing, Brad, do you know that you only have to eliminate one of those?
Big losses.
Big losses. And that's really what our technology is kind of all about, because as it turns out, the focus on eliminating big losses is just as important as the focus on finding where to put your money. So these things come together. They cannot be taken apart when you are searching for alpha and investing for yourself. They are 2 sides of a coin, the heads, the tails. You must simply have it. So we try to give it to you systematically. Our approach to this systematic thing is kind of like, and again, the reason I go over this pretty much every presentation, this is the kind of the introduction to trade ideas. Our approach to investing is not an approach where our software is scouring through thousands of SEC filings looking for the word upgrade or patent or something like that. That's insanity, okay? That's complete insanity. But what we are doing is we're watching the price behavior of every stock in real time and counting what we view as patterns that can be repeatable. It's like there is a technological way to view mathematical information. Our software is doing that behind the scenes and is trying to say, hey, this looks like a pattern, this looks like a pattern, this looks like a pattern. And it's kind of like the same way that the MIT card counting team beat the casinos at the game of blackjack. We use this with big data, and our whole benefit is that our server technology, the stuff that none of you guys get to see, but the stuff that's behind the scenes in our server farm in California, that's the thing that's doing this breaking Vegas kind of stuff. And it's the thing that's going to serve you up. The idea is that I am here trying to convince you are worthy of your attention. There's 2 real ways that you can kind of introduce yourself to our technology and in general being successful in the market. One of them has to be, the more time you spend just alone, the worse it is. Partly because when we are alone, we tend to be our own worst enemies. It's very difficult to judge yourself critically when you are by yourself. We all, again, we know why we do this. So Trade Ideas, because we are a very successful software company, we provide a free trading room at the following web address that's manned by Barry Anderson, who is in Europe on vacation right now, but still the trading room is open. And it is a great way to see how other active investors participate in the market. So again, I want to just bring that up ahead of time, because for those of you that don't, know what you're going to be doing, or you're just on the edge of something, this is a great way to start. It's a meritocracy, a pack mentality. Okay. And now, Brad, we're going to shift our focus to the stock market.
Beautiful software.
Beautiful software. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you very much for being here. My goal is to tell you that A, money can be made in the stock market in a way that you are being told can't be. I'm going to show it to you visually. I'm going to make it very, very clear. So again, as you know, if you talk to your broker or your financial planner, everyone says, you can't time the market, give me your money. Notice how those things kind of come together, Brad. You can't time the market, give me the thing. Okay, so how do I prove to you that money can be made in the market? Very simply, I'm going to show you. Well, here is a stock called Broadwind Energy. It's a daily chart. And in February of 2017 of this year, the stock was trading at $4. And you can kind of see the way it behaved. You know, it was something had happened here. It was digesting this information, and then it really started to move up in the beginning of February and really continued to move up basically from February to April. And that move was over 100%. So in roughly 2.5 or close to 3 months, here's a 100% movement in Broadwind Energy, their wind farm. Subsequently, they came down very quickly too. So investors, you guys need to understand that from an active investment point of view, once you shed your desire to be right and, you know, and be in the Tesla with Elon Musk and wear the sweater with the, you know, rest of soul Steve Jobs, etc., you realize that these kinds of incredible opportunity moves, they happen in both directions. Okay? And once again, look at the time frame. You're talking about from 10 back to 5 in a roughly, you know, 4-week time frame. From 4 to 10 in a 12-week, and then back again. There are stocks like this. There are numbers and numbers and numbers of stocks like this. And at Trade Ideas, we've kind of identified what are the foundational building blocks of those behaviors. Like, for example, we've been talking about this concept of what is the float. Okay? Float are things you don't hear about too much on CNBC because their advertisers don't care about that. But float is the way a company is structured. Okay? I'll give you a perfect example. Here's a cannabis company, TerraTech, that actually does fairly well, but their stock has been getting killed. And again, because of Sessions, the Attorney General, etc. But my point is, look at the float here. 579 million. The float is how many shares are available to be traded by the public. So when you have, you know, 500 million shares that are available, it's going to take a lot of volume to move it. A lot of people are going to have to get excited about this to make it move. Whereas here, with a float of just 5 million shares, it takes much less excitement to get the ball going. So again, we kind of try to showcase a different way of looking at things. And so what I'm showing you here is that incredible opportunities exist in the stock market. You must know that, okay? And they're not one-offs. I'm just going to go through a few of them so you can see. Look at the move here in January of Pulmatrix from 65 cents to then $7. I mean, again, incredible volatility, incredible potential. Okay, another one, Diffusion Pharmaceuticals. From here, 214, in 3 days, it goes to $15. The biological product manufacturers, the pharmaceutical space, especially the smaller space, it's incredible because you have companies that are looking for the cure for cancer, which brings me to Cancer Genetics Inc. Again, going from a low of 140 in January of 2017 to a high of $5 in March, and kind of staying in this area. This is why you are here. Be aware that this is where you should be. This is where the unusual returns take place. So now that we have put that myth away, okay, we're going to talk about, well, how is Trade Ideas going to, what the hell are we going to do to help you? Okay, great question. I'm going to show you right now. Gigantic innovative changes have been taking place underneath the scenes that allow us now to give you a roadmap anytime you look at any stock. And for this example, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put it on something you guys might know, like advanced micro devices. I'm going to zoom back out of this one. Okay. So what we've basically tasked our softwares with the following very, very important question. Now, a lot of you heard Scott talk about our artificial intelligence. And this technology is the creme de la creme in terms of technology and the way it thinks about anticipating price action. And the reason that we don't use as many traditional indicators is simply because it's kind of like, I saw this great Brad Discovery Channel thing about if somebody went back in time right now to like the 1500s, you think your English would be understood by anybody? No way. Dialect changes. You know, things change. The sentence structures changes. And ironically enough, we look at everybody still trying to anticipate price action with things like MACDs and RSIs and stochastics. These older kind of approaches that were made before big data was even around. So while we use some of that as inputs, we've kind of taken a different level. We're at the more atomic level, you know, at the quant level of what's going on. And that allows us to basically ask our artificial intelligence, anytime somebody pulls up a stock, to say this: if you were in it, AI, what would you do right now? And here's what it's saying. Well, if I was in it right now at this price, I would put a stop order at 210, and I would have a profit target at 1286. This is the AI's view of a position at any moment. Let's look at another one. Okay, here's one, health equity. There was a stock that was, again, kind of volatile today, 2 million shares, up 8%. Again, notice the potential, notice the movement from from June 1st to today. You know, you're talking about from 45 to 52. We are again trying to get you into these stocks. And anytime you find one, we're giving you the roadmap, like Google Navigate, where to put your stop that's statistically optimized for every single time you pull it up. It will move. So anything you see, it'll tell you, okay, this is where the statistically viable stop should be. Again, imagine this is the difference between driving in your brain, where you know the directions, having a map to look at, versus Google Navigate. Everything is labeled. We're really working on the visualization of our technology. Brad, how are we caught up on any of the questions?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're good. There's just one question that I haven't answered yet at the bottom here. I haven't read it yet.
Okay, perfect. So let me bring up something else here. Oops. So here's another example of opportunity, the stock market, why you should be here, why you should be listening, and that these things are happening all the time. Okay, so look at the price movement of MOSY over the last 2 days. Look at the volume at 13 million. Understand that this is not some magic, that's happening behind closed doors. Early adopters, people who are able to see the data, people who use our technology, are taking advantage of these opportunities. Look at what's happening. The reason I have this pulled up over here, okay, is to simply showcase that this wasn't something that happened like, on the first tick and like, oh man, everybody was lucky. That's just not how it was. Let's go back into the 5-minute space. So here you are the open, and you're going. Brad, will you tell Marissa please not to Skype me? Thanks. So here it starts, and notice that it actually came down quite a bit, before it really started to run. So there was opportunity to kind of feel this out, and then it really started to go and continue higher. This is where unusual returns happen. It happens right here. Okay, I'm not showing you exactly all of like the bells and whistles because I want you to see the simplicity. Okay, you don't need to know where it came from, right? But when you see it, ultralight batteries. Okay, now you know instantly where to put the stop. And by the way, something really important, Brad, is this. This feature that I'm showing you right now is not simply limited to our premium version. Oh no. This one is available for everyone because we want everyone to see the signposts. Okay, regardless as if you are or are not using AI, when you see a trade, you will know what to do and at least understand quantitatively why you are doing it. This is the big innovation. The fact that every single thing, whether it's Netflix, you see where the smart stop needs to be, or Google, or Apple, or AMD. Trade Ideas now has your back in a way that matters almost more than finding it. We've got your back on the risk. Okay? So now let me show you why you really ought to be paying attention to us. Brad, what did we discuss? We said, hey, opportunities are incredible, and we showed you what the volatility is and how to do it. Okay? Now I'm going to show you what we provide, like what we do with our knowledge. Okay? So what is the premium service? What is it that you can do? How can you profit from Trade Ideas the best way possible? Well, our answer to that question is very, very simple. So we built this AI, and these were all the trades in the AI today, okay? And we're going to go over some of them, and we're going to talk about what you're seeing, okay? So we built this AI so to be followed, so that you would follow what it is doing. That's the general high-level overview. It gives you a signal, and then you quickly decide whether you do or don't take it, okay? So we're going to talk a little bit about, hold on one second here, I'm just adjusting it for better viewing. So one of the big things that we, again, have been innovating with is that how do we make it easier for you guys, you our customers, to follow the AI? And there's a reason why I have it sorted this way. So we are in California. Brad, when does the market open in California?
That would be 6:30, bright and early.
Right, and early. The market opens at 6:30 in California, and the AI starts working right at the open, looking at everything, trying to figure out what looks like the best trade possible. So I'm sorting it to you right here so you can actually see the exact feed. Like this is what people would have felt if they had the AI. So one of the best things we like that proves that we know what we're doing and we're doing it better than everybody is there's nothing better than getting your biggest winner to come first. Brad, do you agree?
Absolutely.
I mean, because that doesn't always happen that way, but it sure is nice when it does. Okay? So let me show you what we are now doing with the AI. As soon as a trade in the AI happens, once again, you see a blue line. That's the AI entry point. You see when the AI is in profitable zone and when it's in not profitable zone. There's a risk on, there's a risk off area. Okay? And you can see exactly what's going on. So here, basically in the first trade, very quickly, like in about 20 minutes, the AI caught $1 on ATHM. And you can again see what it's doing. And this is a traditional breakout. I mean, and it has been breaking out since here. So notice how this fills the void of, this answers the question, well, can you make money in the stock market? Hell yeah, you can if you are watching the right things. And again, it's not simply about picking bottoms or, picking tops. It's just understanding what the momentum quantitatively looks like. So again, this stock, look at what it did since last year and where it was just in March. I'm sorry, April. You're talking about from 28 to 45 right now. Insane. And you aren't hearing about this anywhere but places like here. Okay? So there were questions. How come what you see on Trade Ideas is not what you see on my screen? That is because I am running the super duper early Superman Batman combo version, which even Brad Williams himself does not have access to. That's not true. He does have it. But we are testing this and we are getting ready to launch it.
But Dan, I am going to post an updated beta link. It's not going to be the one that you have, but it's going to be the one just before it that will have a lot of this great stuff in it.
Right. So remember, again, the biggest tenet I said for why you want to be with us is whichever stock you're in, we got you. And what Brad's giving you that's not simply in premium, he's going to be giving you a link to download this and use this. This is sick. I mean, again, this does not exist anywhere else.
You know, Dan, there's also, I'm going to post the link in the chat right now, but there's also one other feature in this version that I think is pretty cool, at least for the non-premium subscribers. So the standard subscribers are going to now be able to set up to 10 different price alerts. So they're going to have access to the price alert functionality, and there's some overlaying that we're working on the chart here too, but there's just some really great stuff here.
Yeah, so now whenever you try Trade Ideas, as Brad said, we are adding some price alert functionality for you so you can really see what it's like. And again, you might be the type of investor where 10 is just enough for you to work with. So we really do want to give you more and more access to this type of tech. We're really working on cleaning up the charts right now. That's a big thing for us. Because we're making this visual, and guys, I'm telling you the stuff that's going to be happening like in the next 2 months. Brad, I can't take it anymore. I fainted.
I'm sending the link right now to everybody.
Okay. All right. So let's go over another trade from the AI. Remember, so your first trade was at home. It happened at 6:48 a.m. my time. The entry price was 44.26. So you can see what it looked like on the chart. It was this candle. It was right here. So it bought at home after. The strategy is called sunrise mover. So it's looking for a specific kind of behavioral pattern, and it's varied, and it's looking at it in the morning. And sunrise mover said, okay, this time I see something I like in at home. And you can see exactly what happened. So you can imagine, could you have followed it or not? Was it difficult? This one really never went against you, but we'll show you the ones that do. Okay, this was another one, CLVS. So here, right here, it was a little spready. The AI got you in at 6:49. Okay, and the entry price was 58.18. Now this one, notice what it did, okay? And the AI has a lot of kind of smarts built into it so that it helps you preserve your capital. There's all sorts of these exits that give you kind of a roadmap, and the idea is that you can learn the best kinds of trading behaviors by following what it's doing, and we're constantly working on always improving this stuff. But it's also telling you when to use volatility for or against you. You know, this risk on, risk off, it's always adjusting, telling you, is volatility working for you or is it not? So in risk on mode, this was a total of 3 points, by the way, and in risk off mode, there was a total of $1.75. There were two kind of big losers. So you can imagine what you could have done in either way. So here, next one, Ozark. You know, here's an example where it did something, kind of started to go up and was doing pretty good, okay, but just ended up coming down. TPX, again, on support. So this is where the AI really does something that most people can't do because it's quantitative. It's trying to isolate when support happens, and investors visually typically don't do support too well they do it breakouts. That's what most investors are able to do. So here, this was the candle. It bought in. It had a really nice run from the entry, but then pulled back, was a little bit negative, but then it really started to go all the way to 28.29, pulled all the way back, and then ran once again. So the same stock, because we gave you a reason to watch it, this is something that will be, again, worthwhile is the best thing I can say about that.
And it really did find that support a couple different times. You know, it simply bounced off it.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another one, Clovis Oncology. Just better ways for you to visualize and hopefully to be able to take more and more of it. So listen, it's up to you ultimately to make the decisions to do something or not to do, but we are showing you that it can be done, okay? It absolutely can be done. And remember too, that we are hoping that you see a lot of this not simply as day trading opportunities, because they're not meant to be that way. We are trying to catch a bottom in Bristol Myers. You know, we're trying to catch a continuing run in At Home. And we are trying to catch a further breakout in Clovis Oncology. Okay? That is what you are here to do. This is where the unusual and cool returns are hiding. So this is what you should expect to see very soon. I mean, the link that Brad gave, that will have a lot of this, and we're continuing to just improve it here. But I would say that, you know, where else are you going to find this information without you having to do anything? The proper exits and profit targets for any trade that you take without you needing to do anything. That to me is really keeping it simple. That to me is providing value not only by being an amazing stock picking technology, really. I mean, we've done that since 2003, but we're now bringing it all together. Okay, and you are about to see what's happening. So Brad, where are we on the rest of the questions?
I think we're pretty good. I've got a couple more that I'm knocking out here, but I think we're pretty caught up.
Okay, so right. So let's talk a little bit about Brokerage Plus support. So Brokerage Plus is out in alpha mode, and Brokerage Plus, new Brokerage Plus. This is where it is. It's in it's in beta. It's not enough. It's in beta, and while it's in beta, it's free. And we're at a point where we're making slight, you know, modifications to the AI and everything else as it works with Brokerage Plus, and improved some. Brad, there were some few bugs that I think you had just fixed, or something having to do with how orders are being sent. So we're always maintaining, but we're taking a small break on the Brokerage Plus itself as we focus back on the charts, because from the charts you are able to trade. So that's all connected. So Brett, we have a channel. I'll show you here. If I can find it. Here it is. So we have a channel that's specific to options where we talk about stocks that have unusual call volume, unusual put volume, all sorts of unusual activity. Okay, and the put call ratio, things like that. So there's a whole channel for that. But we are going to we are in the process of soon delving a lot deeper into the options for sweeps and things like that, and actual contracts. That is something that's on our wherewithal. Brad, do you want to add a little advanced exit
You bet. Yeah, I was just typing that one out. But essentially what that is it's using some of the algorithms that we use inside of the AI, such as the reduced risk, where after a certain period of time, if it hasn't achieved the type of move that it was looking for, it'll go ahead and exit the position. It also uses the profit save algorithm, which is like a trailing stop, looks from a retracement from the high, and if that's a certain amount based upon its volatility, based upon its range for the day, based on its relative volume, it'll go ahead and exit you out. So just a couple algorithms to assist in that. So Luis, so with respect to Holly entering and exiting trades automatically, yeah, that's what Holly does all day long. And with every trade that it gives you, with every idea that it gives you, there's a predefined time frame that it's set for its risk off profitability. So that means that if you're getting into a sunrise mover trade, the sunrise mover is really only set up for a 30-minute trade. But that doesn't mean that that you need to get out of it after 30 minutes, but we're just giving you the profitability of how that's looking after 30 minutes in addition to if you were to hold that position through the rest of the day. So visually it's giving you that.
I mean, truthfully, we're trying to get you through the toughest part of any investment, which is the first day. You know, if you can be profitable after you got into it, that's the biggest hurdle, believe it or not. You know?
So Joe, he's asking if these scanners are already set up, and yes, they are. Here, that's what we did with the channel bar. With the channel bar, we went through and we went through these different themes, and we created these various trade ideas windows. Some are top lists, some are multi-strategy windows, some are alert windows. All of the channels have charts on them, but they're all kind of configured specially to that channel, to that theme. Maybe it's looking for volume moves. Maybe it's looking for price action. Maybe it's a particular theme like China. Yeah, so all these are set up for you.
So the Woody's question, when the AI gives you a signal, it'll have an entry price and a last price, and you'll see it here with the line, but it'll be more on the, it'll be at the right hand side. And then as the trade continues, you'll see what it's doing, if it's in the green, or in this case, if it's in the red. And by the way, this is, again, you can kind of see, why does Trade Ideas make their stops where they are, and how does that happen? Look what happens when the stops get broken. Yeah, so Joe, you can totally channel surf. In fact, tons of people do that. That's the easiest way to kind of navigate. Again, look at this, by the way. Brad, did you see this? From 30 to 205? Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Here's a float. One of the reasons is the float's less than 1 million shares. Yeah, Woody, there are stocks like this. So look, we have different stocks that do different things. We aren't specifically catering our AI to the 0.5 to 2.5 area, but we have a channel that's designed for that. It's right here. And every single stock in it, you'll now be able to have an exit and a profit target for every single thing you pull up. Joe, there's nothing you need to worry about on the news. By the time you know about the news, it's too late. There's this great tool for news, everybody. It's called the internet.
Well, and we do make it easy to get to that. You can link to a little web window and have that set up into your favorite little news browser. Maybe it's Yahoo or something. And
yeah. Like you could say send to and web, and you can customize what that is. And here, right away presents at conference. So you can, 2 clicks, you're at the news with us. So don't take my discount for it. It's just that I'm saying in trading, what you find out, the why is not as important as the do, everyone. Work on the do, the why is not as relevant. Why did that golf ball fall in? Well, another one that looked like it was about to fall in didn't fall in. Brad, why did that golf ball that might have been...
I think that's just your bad luck, right?
That's right. Walter, great question. So listen, everything that you can imagine in terms of words like pennants, channels, thingies, majiggers, the AI already looks at it, but at all time frames at the same time. There's nothing that exists in any charting package that isn't visible to us, because remember what I was saying before. We are at the atomic level, at the tick level of the data. We're looking at the raw data and we're building our own candlesticks and stuff like that. That's why our data is all ours. We are not really working with any other, vendor. We didn't get anybody else's charting library. We built everything from scratch so that you can have what we're showing you right here. That assisted entries and exits. All right, Brad, let's jump back into the presentation. I mean, this is really, to me, the biggest steps is, if I'm going to summarize everything, guys, it's simply that now every single stock you look at, you've got help. Every single one. And that's not just in the premium, that's in the normal version.
Hey, Dan, do me a favor, though, before we kind of move it back to the prezo. Why don't you set a price alert or two, just to show that functionality for the people that maybe want to try it that haven't had that opportunity.
100%. Okay, so price alerts, they're very, 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 very useful. So here I'm looking over here at the stock, my size, and I'm going to pop over here at 226, and I'm going to say that this fits my size of a trade. Save. So now I've got my price alert right there, and it's visible. I can zoom into it. I can see what I'm doing. But now that I saw it, you know what? I didn't like that. I want it all the way up here. Because what I'm saying is, once it crosses this resistance, we're back in the 15 area mode. And that's what happened. It's very possible that you don't really need to know about this one until here. Okay, so that's how you can set alerts, and you can see them. See, it says price alert right there. So now I can go to another stock. Okay, I can zoom back out. Oh, that one's on highs, nothing to set there. Here's another one right here. Right click and say, looks very promising. So these price alerts that are now visible on the screen and right here are also available to non-premium subscribers. You just only get 10 of them. So, Brad, is that good? And again, you can do this with every single stock that you see. You can right click from either the symbol or rather, sorry, the chart, and you can, pick a direction, notes, whatever it is you want to do.
That's great. Yeah. So
and
there's
expiration date, etc.
I was going to say, there's one more thing here from Clarence. You want to know how you're zooming around that chart right there?
Great question. Okay, so here, Clarence, what I'm doing is I have the control key pressed and then my mouse wheel on my mouse. Control mouse wheel. And if you do with just the mouse wheel, it just moves, scrolls.
And you can also do the control right arrow and left arrow to compress it with just the keyboard. So a couple different ways you can.
Yeah, standard Windows type of stuff. Okay, everyone, back to the presentation. And again, we wanted to kind of keep this one relatively quick and to the point. The whole idea is that we are going to show you the best things to be in, and we're going to show you the best way to do it. We have a free trading room that's helping you throughout that process. We have Brokerage Plus that allows you to trade from the application that I showed you briefly. And again, Brokerage Plus isn't the focus of this presentation, but it's a hell of a way to trade through interactive brokerage. It's the easiest way to mimic the AI. Okay, and right now, while it's in beta, it's free. So it will eventually cost $1,088 when we release it, but it is free to everybody who uses it in beta, and that's grandfathered. So it's kind of a nice, it's been that way for a little while, but eventually it will cost something. We have a Friday podcast. Myself, Jamie Hodge, and guests. We had at Trade Beautiful from Ireland last Friday. It was a really good podcast, and we will continue to do that. Again, just provide more insight in different ways. So one of the things that that really kind of nails it down in terms of what you're getting is the two types of services that lend themselves to trade ideas. We have a standard trade ideas, which is $99 a month, and then a premium trade ideas for $188 a month. I was showing you a lot of the premium where you saw the AI, but now in the standard, that's not in this slide yet, you have those assisted heads up on what to do. I mean, to me, that is the critical component. It's $18.88 per year. That's by far the best value. And this is, Brad, did you say $188 annual for Trade Idea Standard? Did you get possessed by somebody?
I don't know. Are you trying to get me in trouble?
Don't worry, everyone. Brad's been fired. His clone is that's supposed to be $888. So funny.
It only took 3 webinars to flush that one.
It only took 3. I bet there were some people like, I thought I bought this thing for an annual for $188. Surprise! No, sorry, it's $1,888 for the annual premium and $888 for the standard. And
Scott?
Right, just a little funny perspective, $5.17 per day versus your venti cafe latte and medical school, which is much more important because it's good for people, but at the same time, much more time consuming, and then you have to get a job. Scott, is there anything that I missed by any chance?
No, I think you pretty much got to everything. If you mentioned the podcast, that's good. We do have a weekly podcast on Fridays. It comes out shortly after the market. Stay tuned for tomorrow's, and just search for Trade Ideas Podcast in your favorite podcast app to add it.
Yeah. We're trying to communicate virtually in every way possible. We're easy to get a hold of. We have a big Twitter presence. At Trade Ideas 1 is myself, and I'm slightly crazy every day except for Wednesday, 2 o'clock Pacific time when I'm on my best behavior for webinars, right, guys? Facebook.com, Trade Ideas Pro. Please like our Facebook page. You can contact me directly, dan@trade-ideas.com. That goes right into my Google spam folder. And if you really want to get a hold of somebody, info@trade-ideas.com is the way to do it. And of course, our telephone number. Guys, just a quick summary. This innovation that we did today is one of the biggest ones. It's one of these things that is a little bit subtle, but it's going to make an impact because it's on every single stock you see, and it is available to everyone. Okay. Scott, thank you for doing everything. And we have the only thing I didn't mention, I think, is just that this is the promo code ALPHAWAY. And as Scott mentioned, it's good for not only just what you're seeing here, but also if you're switching from standard to premium as well. Scott, this has been recorded, right?
Yeah, it's recorded. The recording will be up later tonight or by tomorrow, and they'll get an email reminder from the GoToWebinar GoToWebinar servers with a reminder where to find it.
Guys, we're sprinting away from the competition. This is your time to really take a look at some technology that's going to go crazy in fintech. We're doing some amazing stuff. Check it out if you're on the edge. Thank you for your time, and thank you for coming to see us.
Yep, thank you.